My name is Kim Cullen and I'm a personal injury lawyer in Winter Park, Florida. From time to time we get calls in our office from people who are a little bit upset with their lawyer that's currently handling their Florida personal injury case. The first bit of advice we always give people who call like this is see if you can work it out with your lawyer. Many times there are just misunderstandings that can be handled with a simple telephone call and a little bit of understanding and patience. But if the person doesn't want to do that or just feels that the relationship is headed in the wrong direction, then many times the person has to make a decision about whether they want to fire their Florida personal injury lawyer. So there are 4 things that we've come up with that a person probably needs to think about before deciding to do that. The first and most important thing to think about when determining whether or not you want to fire your lawyer is, do you have a legitimate reason? In Florida, there's a big difference between lawyers who are fired for cause and lawyers who are fired without cause. If a lawyer is fired for cause, in other words, because the lawyer did something illegal or unethical or won't return phone calls or hasn't done any work on a case, then that attorney is not entitled to any attorney's fees as a result of the work that he's done on the case. On the other hand, if an attorney is fired without cause, in other words, for no good reason at all, just because maybe personalities conflicted or the client didn't like the lawyer, then that lawyer is entitled to a charging lien or a lien against the person's personal injury case in order to be paid at a later date out of the proceeds of the case. So whether or not the person has a legitimate reason for firing a lawyer is a big deal when it comes to firing a lawyer in a personal injury case in Florida. Second thing that a person needs to determine before they decide to fire their personal injury lawyer is how much money is it going to cost me, or is it going to cost me any money to fire my lawyer? As I said earlier, if a lawyer is fired without cause, then that lawyer has a charging lien against the case. Unfortunately, courts have construed charging liens in such a way that sometimes charging liens can be charged in addition to a 1/3 attorney's fee that a subsequent lawyer might charge in order to get the case concluded. So sometimes it makes a big difference to how much the client will take home at the end of the case as to whether or not they want to fire their lawyer with cause or without cause. Third thing that a person needs to consider before deciding whether to fire their lawyer is how difficult is it going to be for me to find a new lawyer. Many times lawyers are very hesitant to get involved or reluctant to get involved in cases where another lawyer has done years and years of work on the case. There are tactical decisions and strategy decisions that have been made along the way that perhaps the new lawyer won't agree with. And some lawyers are just hesitant to get involved with a client who has previously fired a lawyer for fear that maybe the client might want to fire the second lawyer too. The last thing that the person needs to consider is, am I ready to handle the case myself if I can't find another lawyer to handle my case? If you fire your lawyer without having a backup plan, you could be left representing yourself in a personal injury case, something that's a very daunting and overwhelming prospect for a lot of lay people. So that's something that needs to be considered. If you have any questions regarding firing a lawyer or what the procedure is in order to do that, please call us in our office at 407-254-4901 or visit our website at www.cullen-law.com.